afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? Welcome to the 95 North Sports Machine. I am your host, Berto, with my guy, Antoine Smitty Smith, man. And I'm missing in action. Hopefully, he'll join soon as our brother Chris Tipmore at A1 Forever. I know that he drew an assignment. So he's at the bins currently wrapping up his assignment. So shout out to Chris. Shout out to Bro Talk, our other member as well, which you can catch him on Wednesday nights as we preview the week's game. But Smitty, you good over there? How's your blood pressure? Did you have to take any extra medication? What the fuck was that?
Bro, I got my blood pressure pill right there on the table right there. But
Lord.
man, they got to stop this shit, man. And I know it's an ugly win. I know a win is a win, but goddamn, man, come on. You got to do better, man. You got to do better. Go ahead,
absolutely.
man.
Absolutely. No. Of course, man. You know, definitely a much needed win for these Atlanta Falcons early on in the season, and all too important win for these Atlanta Falcons. Let's remind the folks we are now 2-0 in the NFC conference, 1-0 within the division itself. We have to have amnesia and flip our attention now to Tampa Bay once they trot into town. And that's a Tampa Bay team that, goddamn it, was putting up points on will against the Philadelphia Eagles. So Falcons better be prepared, more prepared than they were today, because this was an undisciplined effort by these Atlanta Falcons. That self-inflicted wounds, penalty-wise, could have really doomed this Atlanta Falcons team early and late, and none later than the Jake Matthews bullshit call on that pity pat grab by
that was some
so
bullshit
they said
right there.
Yeah, that was some bullshit with springboard, Bijan for 7 could have put the Falcons up by 10. But needless to say, man, there was a lot of self-inflicted wounds with this Falcons team, a lot of penalties. I think we had 7 penalties today, man, and it wouldn't have been a good way to lose a game undisciplined wise. But, there's a lot of other things that we need to talk about. There's some praises that we need to sing, and there's some question marks. There's going to be some question marks right alongside the defense, also the offense. But from you, Smitty, some of your takeaways from today's action, brother.
Some of my takeaways, man, it's just the same story, man. Defense is keeping us in these football games. Offense is making crucial mistakes, and the ref still trying to screw us. So those are the top 3 things I think I took away from this game. But as I look at it, with this defense, man, they're trying to find ways to get sacks. I think they only had one that was D offering on the defensive back blitz. But you, even though they're not getting sacks, they're still having turnovers that are changing the way the game is going, the momentum change. You look at the interception by Troy Anderson. You look at the blitz and the sack by D Offord. These were game-changing plays on defense. However, we're still struggling to stop the run. Alvin Kamara had a great game running the football. Taysom Hill, before he went out with injury, he was running the ball straight downhill, down our throat. Like I told y'all on the preview show, he probably would. So overall, man, we just still need to find balance. And how do we do that? We need to find ways to move the ball down the field without, drop passes, short throws. We just need to get in rhythm and become consistent. If we don't become consistent, these field goals that we're kicking every damn time downfield, it's going to, costing us game, and it almost did this game. Like you said, that bullshit tic-tac-toe call shouldn't have been even called because Jake Matthews barely touched that guy. I saw the Saints left tackle put Arnold Everett in the chokehold, and it still wasn't called. So as I see it, man, the refs are still screwing us, man. It's got to change.
So some of the things that I saw today, right? Man, when you're playing a team that has their backs against the wall, right? You as a coaching staff, you as a team are supposed to do this. Time to eat, goddammit. Saints had so much going against them. They lost Taysom Hill towards the end, which allowed the Falcons to really, switch up the way they were playing defense and get a little bit more aggressive, from the third quarter and on. But you're playing a defense that was minus DeMario Davis, the heart and soul of that defense. Willie Gay was out from the second quarter on with a hand injury. You lost Tyrann Mathieu. Alontae Taylor was in and out of the lineup. I'm looking at one guy, and it's Kyle fucking Pitts.
Yep.
What is it that what do we have to do in order to get this kid going? Because right now, this was the perfect game, as you and I were talking about with alongside some of the other Saints podcasters on Wednesday's show. This was the perfect game to get Kyle Pitts going because the mismatches were outstanding. Even more so, they got better as the game went on. But Zach couldn't find the guy. He couldn't exploit these matchups or
You
put
know
Kyle
why?
in favorable position, man.
You know,
That's
you
what's
know what?
upsetting me the most, man. Because this game should have been far beyond its reach than a 26-24 victory by these Atlanta Falcons, man.
Yeah, this was supposed to be our first 30-plus point game. And I'm gonna just say this right now, and I don't care who get mad. Kyle Pitts lazy as hell, and I'm gonna just keep it 100 with y'all. Like you said, the matchup that he had in this game could have been matchups he could have exploited very easy, especially with the most athletic linebacker not in the game and Willie Gay, and then you have the most dominant and knowledgeable linebacker and Demario Davis, who didn't even suit up. He was on the sideline with them headphones on. So Kyle Pitts' work ethic now is coming to question for me. Is he willing to grow to be the player that we all think he can be, or is he fine with just being just mediocre? Let's keep it real, mediocre.
Yeah, man.
Because you look at a tight end like Sam Laporta in Detroit, he came in as a rookie and put up more yards and reception than Kyle Pitts had the last 2 years. Just think about that. So as I look at it, and I told you this not only on the preview show, but I've been saying this probably since last September, October. You got to think about trading Kyle Pitts at the trade deadline. And now that we seeing that he's not putting forth the effort to want to stay on this team, it coming to question now more than ever. I don't give a damn if you get a 4th-round pick for him. You will get a pick just to replace him. I'm gonna do it. One, I don't want to pay him $12 to $17 million when his contract is up. So as I look at it, he's not putting forth the effort to earn that contract, and I don't even really care if he is this season strong. I just don't think he's that guy no more, and it's coming into question now more than ever, like you said. And we said it, perfect matchup. New Orleans Saints, downhill linebackers. You have a tight end that can stretch the field, that should be able to run past those guys. 83-inch wingspan, and guess what? It's just not working. And I don't even care about the system. Go ahead.
No. It definitely. It looks like he plays with no enthusiasm at the position. And some folks, and again, not to be rude, man, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. The chat is lit like it always is. We thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts for always being supportive of the 95 North Sports Machine. We truly appreciate it from wherever that you're watching, whether it be on X, Facebook, Twitter, it doesn't matter where, Facebook, YouTube, we thank you, Instagram, we thank you so very much. But yes, Smitty, to go along with the Kyle Pitts situation, I think this game could have been blown, the doors could have been blown out of this game had we properly used Kyle Pitts in a lot of the matchups. Listen, I'm gonna give you a crazy take, right? I think that the Falcons, while it's great that they put receivers in motion, I think the wrong ones are being put in motion because let's be honest,
right?
Ray McLeod it doesn't garner the respect of a defense to go ahead and put him in motion to see what a defense is gonna show you, right? Neither is Darnell, neither is Drake. Kyle maybe. But he's the most seldom used guy in that aspect. They don't put him in motion enough. They don't put him in motion enough just to see what the defense is giving us or what they're gonna give us. That right there itself in return will allow Kirk Cousins to dial it up a little bit better under center, right? Because his play hasn't been all too inspiring neither. We all figured and felt like, man, we get Kirk. We get a guy that comes from Minnesota. We know the working relationship with Zach and Kevin O'Connell. We figured, he's going to pick up right where he left off to some extent. But it hasn't been that. This is not the Kirk Cousins that we envisioned here in Atlanta. Let's just be real. And I know there's a lot of questions out there that, maybe say, oh, it's time to bench him. It's time to do whatever. Listen, buckle up because this is the Kirk Cousins. We're going to get this for the next 14 weeks. Michael Penix is not going to see the field. And that contract says a lot. This Falcons organization is not going to bench $45 million. We just
It's
got
actually 65. It's actually 65 million. Yeah.
65 million. So we got to go through these growing pains with Kirk Cousins. But as a fan base, we're all in shock and awe. Like, wow, man, this is not what we envisioned. Never mind the Achilles injuries, just the performance in the player that Kurt has been in this league, man. You see the numbers right here: 21 for 35 for 238 yards. Pedestrian numbers, right? No TDs. One INT, and that INT, of course, comes and you could say what you want, right? To me, it was miscommunication between Ray McLeod and Kurt on that. Well, some folks said that Ray slipped. Whatever the case is, just didn't look comfortable targeting him. So there's some things in Atlanta that needs to wait, need to be awoken. And Kurt is one of them. He needs to get his head out his ass and figure out that, listen, you're a vet. And you know what? To this point, I just finished my stream on Bleacher Report. Shout out to everybody that came through. Really appreciate the support. Kirk Cousins is looking like the Matt Ryan Indianapolis Colt. Matt Ryan washed, with the game ahead of him already, or in his rear view. And that will fucking pain me to say that and agree with that, but god damn it, it's showing so. And the offensive line today, really, for all of the backups that we had, Ryan New Zealand, Storm Norton, shout out to both of them. Storm Norton played a hell of a game this game. Really, you didn't really hear too much of Carl Granderson, and Carl Granderson is that guy for the New Orleans Saints. And in the middle, Brian Breeshaw, he made a little bit of noise towards the end of the game, but relatively was held in check by Lindstrom and New Zealand. Both guys filled in, pretty good for the Falcons. But man, Smitty, what do we do about this Kirk Cousins problem? Because this is starting to become a problem.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what we do. First of all, we gotta start pointing the fact at Zach Robinson too, because he's the one calling plays. He's the one got to get this offensive rhythm. And going forward, I love Bijan all the way. Two guys down like 4 flat tires, but Tyler Algier, he's showing you, man, he deserves more snaps. You talk about a guy who another game where he's averaging 7 yards a carry or more. I think he had 8 carries for 40 yards, if I'm not mistaken. But you talk about a guy who had key first down runs, wearing down the defense, and if you put him in goal line situations, have a better chance to score if they call the right plays. But what we have to do with this team, and as I told you and I told Uncle Steve earlier, we have to put the ball in the end zone, which means we're going to have to call plays that are going to be aggressive, plays that are going to put this team in position to score. And Kyle Pitts is part of that equation. Drake London is a part of that equation. But again, Zach Robinson, Kirk Cousins, y'all got to come up with something in the film room that y'all comfortable with, calling plays inside the 10-yard line, because all 4 games they played this year, how many touchdowns do we have overall? Just think about that.
Yeah.
The Eagles, you're supposed to score 2 more touchdowns than you did. This game, maybe 2 or 3. You look at the Pittsburgh game, you missed out on 2 touchdown opportunities. So play calling in the red zone has to definitely get better. If it doesn't, these type games will be the one that we lose, and these are the ones that we're going to look back on and say we had a chance to win this game, and that's only going to take you far with more victories.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
That only take you so far. And again, this was a nail-biting performance, a nail-biting game. Shout out to Young Wei Koo making 5 field goals, and none more important than that 58-yarder. We Call Sports Podcast. What's going on, brothers? Hope all is well with you. Thank you for joining the stream. Puerto Rico is definitely in the house, man, to say the least, man. But some of the stuff that we can highlight from this game is the man right here, Tyler Algier, and his production in the run game. I felt like that New Orleans defense started to get gassed in that 3rd and 4th quarter once Tyler Algier was, inserted into the game plan a little bit more. As you see there, 8 attempts, 60 yards. Really not a great performance today by the running game, but it may be like that some games where the passing outshines the running aspect. But the important the stat here is 7.5 yards per rush attempt, which is phenomenal, right? And I think that was a pretty good in-game adjustment by Zach to keep the hot hand, and that was Tyler Algier in the game, running for those chunky plays and chunk yards, which opened up some of the passing lanes. But to say the least, man, I'm glad that Tyler Algier was reinstituted into this offense. Let's talk about the receivers, right? A lot of folks say we need a bona fide number one, but can I ask you, Smitty, is Darnell Mooney wide receiver number one for these Atlanta Falcons, man? Because let's be honest, man, sure, for all the heroics in week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles, Drake London scored the game winner, but no other receiver has come up bigger than Darnell Mooney when the game mattered the most. And all would have been evident in this game as we saw back-to-back targets for Darnell Mooney, meaning everybody else, of course, was being bottled up. But Darnell Mooney, wide receiver number one, what say you, my friend?
Absolutely wide receiver number one. Like you say, he's coming up big time. And what we keep saying about, going out making plays. He's been consistently making plays. He's running routes. And we know he have the speed, but he showed the toughness as well. And we talk about a guy that 5'11" and about 195 or something like that. Smallest guy, one of the smallest guys on the field. But you look at a guy 6'6", 250, he can't even do that. You talk about run after the catch. You talking about stretching the field. You talk about amazing grabs, and his wingspan is not even that big. He just knows how to hold in on the football. So he's going in the film room and on the practice field daily to show y'all that he deserved that money that he got, the 3 years, $39 million, I think it was. But going forward, if he's going to be your number one guy, you make him the focal point of the pass game. And there's no knock to Drake London because he made some great catches as well. Sure. But Darnell Mooney is showing y'all he can beat these defenses back downfield. He's showing y'all he can make the big plays. So whoever is hot at the moment, that's who you go with, and he's that guy right now.
Right, man. And, again, the offensive performance was what it was. Of course, some key plays, some key clutch third down that were made by these playmakers, which is great, which is good. It's just that Kurt struggled to find a goddamn rhythm, man, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Kirk Cousins in a rhythm. I want to see him in a rhythm. I want to relive that fourth quarter against the Eagles for the season. That's the Kurt that I feel that we hired to bring, to come here in Atlanta and show. But, again, hasn't been the case. Hopefully this rounds out and, they'll get it going. I hope so. I pray to God that they do. But we got to switch focus right now to the defense, man, right quick. And a guy that, we talk so much about needs his flowers today, right? It's for me, most of the game, it was 50-50. Troy Anderson played a great game at line. Let me not use the word great. He played a good linebacking game today. Of course, none more important than that pick six to the house where that 4.42 speed was on full display. But that's all in large and part and thanks to Matt Judon and screaming off the edge and batting the ball in the air. And Smitty, don't we know a guy that's done that before to the New Orleans Saints? Our good friend John Abraham did that once before to Drew Brees, which saw Sean Witherspoon intercept the ball. But in this case here, it was Matt Judon. It was Troy Anderson for the pick six. But your quick thoughts on Troy Anderson's play today, man?
I gave Troy Anderson grief during the preview show. And I gave him grief the week before that, the post game before that. Today, doing instincts kicked in somehow. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got back in the film room. Maybe he got help from somebody's eyes on the field. But that interception, that pick six, that brought back memories of me watching tape when he was coming out of him playing quarterback and running back at North Dakota State. But if he can be consistent like this with coverage, I think you still should use him more in the pass rush, and they try to do that. Yeah. But what I saw today, it was very, very inspiring. And I think it's something he can build off of. And if he can build it in a positive way,
Mhm.
I think he can have a solid career in Atlanta, because we seen today what they wanted to see from Troy Anderson the last 3 years. They
Yeah.
wanted to see him cover. They wanted to see him make plays. They wanted him to utilize that speed, and he did all three of those. So going forward, this could be a game that could help this guy take his game to the next level, and it's something that as fans we want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely, man. But again, a guy that a lot of folks in the chat have talked about, and it's been evident 2 weeks in a row, man, how crucial losing Nate Landman has been. And as we all know, this is a copycat league. So again, today the Saints really running the ball right at Troy Anderson or targeting him in some way, shape, or form. Kamara had a decent game today. It's tough to neutralize a talent like him. He's a good one. But Troy Anderson today played pretty good. I don't know about Caden Ellis today. I think Caden Ellis was, it was a mixed bag. Some good, some bad. He looked lost in the shuffle sometimes, man. So it's crucial. It's essential for us to get Nate Landman back at 100%, because now the Falcons can trot out their true, the true defensive fronts that they want to play. Have true line, middle linebackers, and have Troy play that outside or what may have you. And speaking of the outside, this is the Falcons team again that comes up short in the sack department. We got a sack today from D. Alfred from our corner, nothing from our down lineman or anything like that. Falcons come into the season now after this game with just 4 sacks. But what pisses me off
And
is
two of
that
those were the first game. That's sad.
2 of those were the first game. But what's pissing me off more so is we can't get anything going with Arnold Ebiketie. We can't not get anything going with Lorenzo Carter. But we can get something going with James Smith-Williams, who had a fantastic game today in limited action. That's a guy that needs to be instilled into this defense on a week in and week out basis, man, and kill the experience of Arnold Ebiketie and Lorenzo Carter, man.
And
I
hell,
you
since
know
they not doing nothing, I feel like
yeah
here D'Angelo Malone, his speed could come in and contribute if you give him the
yeah
chance. How we know if he's not getting no snaps? I know he won special teams, and that's how he made the team. But
mhm.
since you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback, you got to think of different ways to scheme with this defense, especially if you have a guy with speed like a D'Angelo Malone. Because guess what? Caden Ellis, he had a decent game, but we saw when he tried to shoot gaps, he kept getting run over by Alvin Kamara. So
Yeah,
now you got to put guys in that can set the edge and shoot the gaps like they're supposed to. And like you said, James Smith-Williams, who's a veteran in this league, he's shown y'all the last 2 to 3 games that he can come in, make some plays, and probably earn some more playing time. Because like you said, Ebiketie was a second-round pick, but he hadn't
yeah.
put up that type of
Failed.
effort yet.
No. No, and we all know, the trade deadline is coming soon. And that might be a topic of conversation. What we can do as far as fixing that pass rush department. I know that we have some key members on this defense missing. Of course, we lost Braylon Trice and DeMarco Helms and guys like that. So we don't know really, if we're seeing the full arsenal that is Jimmy Lake's defense. But Jimmy
Right.
Lake's defense is definitely bend a whole lot, don't break at all. And that's exactly what it's been doing, because red zone defense has played out of its mind this year thus far, really limiting Kansas City last week, and they limited New Orleans again this week, really keeping anything from going above them and over them for any touchdown. So, shout out to Jimmy in that regard. Here's a name right here that kind of showed up today, Zach Harrison. He's been a disappointment so far. While this I agree with, I saw the glimpses today and liked what I saw. Now, Zach Harrison was asked to put more bulk onto his frame in the offseason. This is a big kid. Man. And, last year he came on strong, 3 sacks to finish the year. And I'll dare I say, he's the reason why we did not re-sign Calais Campbell. It
Right.
was the emergence of Zach Harrison, but it hasn't really translated into this year. I know they're asking him to do a little bit more, so he is playing that tweener, that outside inside guy, but we've seen him more exclusively used on the inside. I think we need to experiment with him going back to the outside because he may have some juice to get something going on that outside. And especially in the run game, Zach Harrison is a guy that can set the edge and set it pretty good. And to a defensive line that is short in stature and undersized, these bigger offensive linemen have been having their day with the likes of Grady and David. So we'll see. There's a lot to come from it. It's still a long season. But, what are your thoughts right quick on what Zach Harrison showed today?
I think Zach Harrison played well, man. If he can be consistent as a 3-4 end in the run game, I think he can stick around for a while. And honestly, we've been talking about outside linebacker. Maybe you could try Zach Harrison at outside linebacker against the run. Because guess what? That's another dude that's 6'5", 280. He has the size. He's a good run stopper. And honestly, Lorenzo Carter, he's good against the run, but we saw him as a liability in pass today too. So you got to, like I said, you got to switch things up, man, and see where it works. Try to think outside the box. Like I said, bring D'Angelo Malone in on certain downs when you need a speed rush. Bring in a Zach Harrison when it's third and medium or third and long as a pass rusher. So you're going to need this size up front because as we've seen the last 2 to 3 games, we've been getting gashed up the middle running the football. You saw it today with Alvin Kamara. He's running right up the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Either he's running a misdirection or a zone run, and they killed us with that play. So you've got to think of something, come up with better scheme against the run, and Zach Harrison could be a big part of that.
Yes, J Black 142, what's going on, man? I seen you earlier in my live stream. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you joining us back for the post game. Hassan is supposed to be available. Do you think we could pick him up, Berto and Smitty?
No,
it's you don't think it's a possibility?
I don't think so, and the reason why, we know what character is to the Atlanta Falcons, and he could have blackballed himself by what he's done in New York. He said he's open to going back to Philly. But what if he goes to a team like the Falcons and he doesn't want to come here? That's another distraction that we don't need. Now, true enough, I can see him and Judon on the same field. But what do you get up to get a Hassan ready? That would be the big question. We've traded a lot of our draft picks already. Now, you could think 2 years down the road to 2026, if they wanted a first or a second round pick for him, I would think about it then. But if you're talking about getting a guy next year, that's going to be a little bit too tough. And then you have to trade assets to get him as well. Who would you give up to get a Hassan ready?
Yeah, that's true.
So
very, very true.
I mean, it'll be tough. Berto, it can't be done. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, what can you give up to get him? Does he really want to come here? Would he be a problem?
Yeah, you know what, Smitty, too. I posed this on my Bleacher Report post game about the show because this was a hot trending topic as well, talking about the pass rush and whatnot. Let me just shout out my son right quick. He Mini 95, what's going on, baby boy? Dirty Birds are 2-2. Looks like money, smells like money. It is money, man. I'll see you when you get home soon, buddy. Safe.
Hey, man, you got to give him the good news, man. He got.
We had a, as a father, of course, as a parent, man, nothing more humbling than seeing one of your own on his career path and his way to success. My son yesterday had his senior picture or his portfolio done yesterday. It's one of the more emotional days as a parent, man. It's one of those things where you look at him and he's sitting there taking these pictures and you're like, man, where did time go? So it was a very emotional day, but I was glad to be a part of it and witness that, man. So shout out to you, Alex, man. I love you, son. And congratulations on everything and how school's going for you thus far, buddy. Great things are ahead for you, my man. But yeah, thank you so much for all the support also on Twitter on his behalf. And back to the pass rush topic, Smith, it was a popular question again. And with, trade deadline looming, Dallas, and I know you and Bro Talk have heavily spoke about this. Thank you so much, brother. Have heavily spoke about, the Micah Parsons situation. I looked on the other side. DeMarcus Lawrence could be an interesting piece for these Atlanta Falcons too down the line if he's made available. Also, if Dallas really doesn't show any more life with between now and the trade deadline. So, it could come to fruition. You talk Hassan Reddick, sure. I look at a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence as well for the Dallas Cowboys. While we stay on the topic of defense, flowers need to be given yet again, and this goes to a guy that a lot of people wrote off, and that's Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes has played
an awesome game.
He's played fucking lights out, and
Who?
while coaching. Here we go.
Mike who?
Yes, sir. Mike Hughes, sir.
Mike Hughes.
Man, Mike Hughes has played out of his mind, and you can definitely
see.
You can see all the markings on all the hands-on by Coach Jerry Gray and Hood as well. To coaching Mike Hughes up to live up to
I ain't gonna lie, man. Mike Hughes, our best cornerback.
Woo!
Right now. Right now.
Yeah, right now. Right now, Mike Hughes is definitely our best corner. Definitely. Oh, please hold the elevator.
How many tackles did he have today?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. He had plenty of tackles.
He was 7 total tackles, 7 solo, man. He was very, very active today. With this. Clark Phillips saw some action today. They were rotating Clark Phillips and Mike Hughes, which is cool. I mean, that's something the Falcons have been doing all year. AJ, he did fairly well himself. But overall, man, this secondary has played lights out for the Atlanta Falcons. Really the strength of the team, if we want to call it that, at this very point in time.
What up? Yeah, man. That was Nick, man. That was my guy. Oh, not that one, Nick. That was my guy, man. We work at Fox together, man.
That's awesome, man. There's nothing like live TV, folks. You never know what's going to happen, man.
You never know,
man.
Oh boy.
How y'all feeling though?
Man, listen, man.
We hanging in there.
We're hanging in there, man.
How y'all feeling about it?
It's a game that should have went, a little bit more in favor for the Atlanta Falcons. There was a lot of things that, just went different, and from play calling to some defensive calls, man, but we got the win, right? So really all that bitching and complaining can kind of go to the side, but we got the win. Patrick Daniels says the pass rush still needs work. Absolutely.
Absolutely, Patrick. Absolutely. Falcon fan 408. We don't have any word on Troy Anderson's injury yet, but trust and believe when we do get a notice, we will let you know.
Absolutely, man. Yes, he left the game early, which saw J.D. Bertan come in for some, and he was one of the recipients being run over by Alvin Kamara in that last touchdown, to say the least. But hey, man, it'd be like that sometimes.
So how do y'all feel about Troy and his performance today?
No, we were just talking about that. Yeah, pretty good, man.
Earlier. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. He played pass coverage well today, especially with that pick six. He was shooting gaps today, and I said he had problems running downhill, and he proved me wrong today. And as I said earlier, this is a game that he could grow off of as a linebacker, because as I said too, he's a former quarterback, running back, and that return on that pick six showed that. So if he can continue to transition into a natural linebacker, I think he can do his thing. And trust me right now, and I'm telling y'all, and I mean this, we missing Nate Lamon real bad. And it showed.
Man, we miss him too bad right now.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Man. Much needed dub, brother.
Hey, at the end of the day, Justin Simmons said it. We could not lead the Benz without a win. So regardless, I know the offense look a little sputtery still. And, honestly, without the defense making plays, Judon coming in there, putting his hands up so Troy Anderson can get that pick six. I was like, Troy finally got to use his speed. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah. So, but honestly, we do have some things we still got to work on. I'm happy about the win, fellas. I'm always going to be happy about a Falcon win anyway, and I can get it. But I still just have concerns, man. I still have concerns that we need to fix and we need to get it together now. Like, we need to get it together now. We're about to head into week 5 against a tough opponent who dog
On a
walked
short
the
week.
Eagles today. Yeah, on a short week. Who dog walked the injured Eagles. But my point is, they took advantage of a hurt team like you're supposed to.
Yeah. And that's the point we were trying to drive. I think this game could have, really, got out of hand for the Saints, if things just bounced and rolled the Falcons' way, man. It just, a lot of self-inflicted penalties and things like that. It could have really blew the doors open in this game. But, of course, like you mentioned, man, win.
Fellas, we had 6 penalties for 56 yards by halftime.
Imagine that.
Yeah. That's true.
Meet Washington says we got to find a better way to get Pitts involved in the middle of the offense. Berto Smitty, yeah, absolutely. We was touching upon that.
Meet Washington.
Man.
I know you like when I say this, but Kyle Pitts got to stop bullshitting. Point blank period.
Yeah.
He got to step up and be that player that we know he can be. And one thing that they need to start doing is put him in the slot. Put him in line so he can get a jump just like a normal tight end, and take advantage of these linebackers. Because at the end of the day, like Ryan Clark said, and I said it, been saying since last year, who's going to stop him as a linebacker or as a safety? Nobody. Ain't nobody stopping Kyle Pitts but Kyle Pitts.
And you know what? Another thing to that too, Smitty, is he gets a free release every time he's in line or he has a hand in the dirt. So can't nobody limit him. If you put him on the X or in the slot, you got a defender that's matched right in your face, limiting your explosiveness. So
to that fans, I'm sorry, guys.
I love that, man. No, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
Were they heckling you at the game?
It was a group of them too. It was like about 10 of them. I just rise up. Rise up.
Should have hit upside the head with a beignet or something.
No,
man, if I had it.
I ain't gonna throw it though. I be trying to eat it, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's why we don't give you food to throw.
Yeah. And all right, so talk a little bit more about the end game and things like that. Man, was it a breath of fresh air when Taysom Hill left the game? Because he is by right a fucking Falcon killer, and he's so annoying, man. And the fact that the Falcons have no solution in stopping this kid, it's baffling. But needless to say, once he left the game, that's kind of where I felt like the momentum started to switch in a way. I think this defense grew a little bit more confidence once he exited, and they felt like, okay, now we can stand toe to toe with this team, right? Another thing that was upsetting for me was the mere fact that this Falcons defensive line was manhandled by a bunch of fucking backups. And for the New Orleans Saints. That's another thing. And folks, we don't want to sound like we're just, negative Nancy's or anything like that, but we have to highlight things that are important, right? And that's one of them. You mean to tell me that a whole backup line is going to manhandle your front 7 or your front 4 like that? That's a problem.
Yeah, me, man. That's a big problem, bro. And we couldn't even really generate a lot of pressure in this game either. Outside of a few plays, we wasn't generating pressure consistently.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, and I noticed this during the game. Grady Jarrett was limping a little bit. He still put in the work, and he was still out there hustling, but he wasn't getting the penetration that we know he could get. He was not. You didn't see him get into the backfield as much as he does, but he was limping just a little bit, and that was kind of a little nerve-wracking to me. It may not be nothing, and it may just be wear and tear, or he's still not fully recovered and he's still struggling with it mentally. But it's just something to keep an eye on. Yeah, Steven. Yeah, he is still recovering, but I just still feel they got to feel that spot if they want to take it slow with him and give him time to recoup that knee like they're supposed to. You got to have Ruke. You got to have Dorless.
Right.
So it's at some point you're gonna have to play those guys to get these older guys a rest. Because guess what? Yeah. By the time we get to week 12, week 13, and they haven't had any rest, it's gonna be wear and tear just like it was on the back end last year. So you got to think about that.
And to your point too, Smitty, about the wear and tear, we gotta think about this too. Grady Jarrett hadn't seen live action, since his injury. So it's a possibility this is even though he's lifting weights and everything, he's still not battling another human being. And he's been doing that for 4 games now. I'm hoping that like there's no swelling or anything like that possibly going on.
Right.
Within that with that knee. Because sometimes that knee will get fluid on it.
Yeah.
Very
That's
true.
true.
Very true, man. Oh man. So Tyler Algier need more touches. Hey, listen, man, that is 100% true, man. You talk about a guy that in back-to-back weeks has been averaging 7 yards per carry, man. Yes, you need to.
Oh no.
You need to, man. Tyler Algier is no pushover. He's no slouch. He's very much, a thumper in the run game, and he brings his own core values and added, added element to the offense, right? Both him and Bijan are, all-purpose yard backs, just different styles and ways of going about it, man. But needless to say, Tyler Algier also needs to be intertwined a little bit more into this offense, man. So we have the pieces, Smitty and Chris. We have the pieces to stand toe-to-toe with offenses, or defenses across this NFL, man. It's just, young Zach, and now this being his 4th game called, has to learn and put out more, better plays week in and week out. Oh yes, Saints were scared to tackle him. Oh yeah,
bro. I was down there screaming in the booth. It feels like, bro, they don't want to tackle him. I said, you gotta keep running Algier. I said, stop. I said, keep running Algier until they stop him, and they won't. That's exactly what I said.
You said what? Now you was where now?
I was in the booth. I was in the booth with Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert today.
You should have punched Jonathan Vilma in his goddamn mouth. I can't stand him as an analyst or color commentator.
Yeah, man.
Everything. Shut the hell up. Don't nobody want to hear him. But you on Uncle Steve and Big Low status now, sitting in the booth, my friend. So don't think I ain't gonna pull your card.
Now you got to get that right. Big
Wait a minute, NIL. Wait a minute now, NILB. Wait a minute now. Gotta say, you were getting money before all of us now.
I gotta add that photo to the stream, y'all.
Oh Lord.
Oh, here you go.
Lord, man. Yeah, man. But yes, that's another thing today, man. The refs, man, just had a hard on for the fucking Falcons today, calling everything seen. But
how many penalties? Do we have like about 10 or 11 penalties today?
No, you said 6. So it was
that was in the first half. That was in the first half. We had 6.
About 10. We had to have about 10 today.
Shit.
We had 6 for 56 yards by halftime. Because I think the Saints only had like 2 penalties by that time.
Yep. And they got most of their penalties on the back end.
Yeah. Because like a lot of those calls that they were calling, I was just like, come on, man. Really?
Tracy, tell us how you really feel, Berto.
That one hurt when they called that flag on that Bijan touchdown.
Oh that was so pity pat, man.
Oh boy, I was like, come on, man.
Oh Lord, that really would have put so much pressure on the Saints.
That would have changed the momentum. That would have changed the momentum.
Honestly, I think that would have almost pretty much iced the game because we was up. We had 23 already. Then we scored in. We're at 30 points.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh man, Smitty, anything you want to add on, bro? Anything that bothered you in this game, man?
Something that bothered me. I said it before. That Robinson play caller. I
just
don't understand why he cannot get into a rhythm. I just don't get it. If you see Tyler Algier, and we talked about this before, if you see Tyler Algier out there doing what he needs to do, running people over, gaining big yards, you keep running with the one that has the momentum. Bijan only had 28 yards rushing today. He had more yards receiving than he did rushing. So what does that mean? You put Bijan Robinson and associate him a little bit more with the pass game in this game and then running the football. You insert him into the pass game and then you use Tyler Algier as the backup, as the number 1 guy for this game. Momentum is everything. Whatever's giving you momentum in the game, that's what you stick with. That's something he struggled with the last 2 to 3 weeks. If he can learn to stick with what works, I think is that Robinson smooth this thing out faster than Usain Bolt running track. If not, he's going to continue to struggle, and these turnovers are going to keep happening.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you too, man. People are talking about Zach Robinson, man. Like people really are on both sides. I mean, who cares what the Saints fans think? It's about our OC. But at the same time, like even they're saying it was like, I'm not understanding some of these play calls by your OC. You know what I'm saying? I'm not understanding, you know what I'm saying, this and that and that and this. And you know what I'm saying? Why they not using this player? Why they not using that player? And I know it's not for them to understand, but I do understand where they're coming from. Because it's just like, run the ball with Tyler Algier. They even saying it in the stadium, the announcer saying, give the ball to Ty. Give the ball to Tyler. Run the ball with Tyler. Like they were saying that in the stadium. So it's just like, I don't understand like why when you know they don't want to tackle him, they make business decisions and they try to gang tackle Tyler. Nobody wants to go straight up with him.
Crazy thing about that, Alante Taylor tried to make a business decision.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That boy, he took a hit. He took a hit. Smitty, what do you say, man? You wanna we got about 15 more minutes left in the show. Open up the chat, let these folks
we go to chat for a minute.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. We gonna talk some shit right with the fans right quick. Y'all jump on in the chat. I'm gonna drop the link in there so we can have some fun, man. Come in and tell us what y'all think about the game. What would y'all change? And just give us y'all outlook. So
let me ask you two guys this though, fellas. Let me ask you two guys this. All right, bros. Now for real. I know Bijan was drafted 8th overall, Tyler Algier 5th round. Do y'all feel like right now, so far, with the first 4 weeks, that it's just too much of the force feeding to Bijan, and maybe that's because he's a higher round pick, so you gotta use him, and it's like you gotta make him effective? Because to me, I just feel like we're force feeding him too damn much.
That's sensitive. That's a very that's a sensitive topic. That's a sensitive topic, right? Because a lot of folks in Atlanta do not want to hear that we're force feeding Bijan, although it could be true. It could be true, but you can't. You know, and in certain ways, you can't think like that. You just have to think. You got to find a better ball placement or a better distribution of the ball between the both of them. And I've always said this: you got to find balance for both of them to shut the narrative down, right? Use Bijan like you use Tyler and live to see another day. Because force feeding Bijan, it's oh boy, that's sensitive, man. That's a sensitive. That's a touchy subject.
But that goes back to what I said, brother. That goes back to what I said. You got to figure out a way to keep the tempo going.
That's it, man.
If Tyler Algier is moving the football, you stick with him, and once we get the defense worn down, you stick in a Bijan with his speed and his quickness to make more plays.
Overall, the run game is better when Tyler is running. I'm just telling you what I've been seeing in the first 4 weeks. I ain't saying Bijan not that dude. I ain't saying Bijan ain't great at all. All I'm saying is I'm looking at the yards per carry. That's all I'm looking at. I'm looking at a guy who's getting less carries than our main guy, but getting more yards. These defenses want to tackle Bijan. Okay, they go for a single tackle against Bijan. They do not do that with Tyler Algier. They make business decisions. They act like, they don't trip and fail a little bit. Whatever it is to make it, when it gets on tape, to where the coach ain't going to be like, hey, you're running from this guy. Whatever it is, they don't want to tackle him. I don't understand, man. Like you guys were saying, we got to go with the flow. It's almost like basketball when a guy has hit 4 shots in a row, and next thing you know, you want to go away from him instead of just letting him shoot until he miss.
Right. Man, but we got Winston Thornton and we got T King TV up on the panel, man. What's going on, fellas, man? Quick thoughts on what y'all felt the game was like today.
Hey, TK,
Chat again.
Chef AJ, what's up, man?
Hey. Look. I don't know how to get my picture up here because it's not working, but I'm gonna say this. Nothing.
Hey,
I'm talking absolutely nothing. Right?
All right.
And then on top of that, we forcing on Robinson. He not getting it done because he trying to make too much of that cutback stuff, and he just running to the defensive line like crazy. Keep Algiers in the game. to me, I've been screaming LG's name since the season even started. And first cousin, bro,
Chef, you
we
getting
have wide
right.
receivers wide open. He just not hitting them. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We got also Chef AD. What's happening, fam?
Hey man,
it's always a good Sunday when we win. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta take a shot again
That's a fact, bro.
before I say something. Just give me 1 second, please.
You gotta get right.
Well,
I
say it. Okay. Wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game. It was.
Go ahead.
It was not.
Go ahead, Chef.
Boy, this traffic, my God.
The defense. The defense always pulled through. Even last year, the defense always been like the reason we win games we don't supposed to win. That fumbled at the end zone, that was a bailout. But that pick six, Matthew Judon with the tip pass for the pick six, I knew then the Saints gonna have a hard time, but we couldn't get back there. We got one sack the whole game. We couldn't get back there for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but you know, my boy Grady ain't like he ain't played the last 3 games like he started at that very first game. Like he was elusive. Like it doesn't seem like he just sitting there just playing pity pat. I was so happy Bijan got his ass put on the bench. Y'all don't know, man. Like I stay in Austin, Texas, man. They brag on Bijan, man. They love that guy at UT. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing you can say bad about him, but when I go sit at the bars and they are disappointed. They saying he need a new running back coach. They're like, we don't know who his coach is or who's training him, but that's not the Bijan that we know. I don't know what's going on, but he's just dancing too much, man. That's just be my only thing. Like, hit the hole. If she open the gap, hit the hole, man. You know what I'm saying? That's as smooth as it can be. Hit the hole. But Algier come out and show I'm a straightforward running back. Put the ball in my hand, and you're going to see me get 8 to 10 yards. Like A1 just said, it ain't even about being a Bijan hater. I look at the yards per carry.
That's all I'm looking at.
That's what I like, inches down the field. Yeah, looking for the big blowed up plays and like that there. We seen what happened when we score fast. We can't keep that fucking momentum. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep that. We score fast, and then we let the defense all of a sudden let the other team score. We tend to keep momentum going when we're pinching down the field, when we getting them inches, 5-6 yards a carry. They wasn't trying to tackle Algier at all.
But again,
they were riding on the man back. I said,
but again,
trying to ride with
but again, that goes to Zach Robinson not being consistent with his play calling. Because if he was consistent with his play calling, we would be able to move the ball a little bit easier. Kirk Cousins would be in rhythm. And I know we've been talking about Kyle Pitts, but if Charlie Warner is going to put up a better effort than Kyle Pitts, you put Charlie Warner in the damn game. So a change of pace is good sometimes. And and all of that comes with rhythm. Go ahead.
Sometimes you may have to pick somebody, man, to get them together.
Let me pick it back off you, because I've been saying this for the longest. Bijan was a luxury pick. He's an extreme talent. Don't get me wrong. I love Bijan. I'm glad that we had Bijan. It was other players that took ahead of Bijan, but I love that we had Bijan.
Right.
But for the offense that we're trying to run, from what I've seen in the first 4 weeks, Algier should be the starter and Bijan should be the change of pace back.
Right.
And they
or the third down guy. Or the third down guy.
I'm willing to demote him the third down. I'm willing to demote him the third down, but I would have him as a change of pace.
He should have more of a presence on third down, is what I mean. You know, I know he's not just a third down guy, but you let Algier be that guy on the first 2 downs, and then on third down, third, short and medium, you let Bijan be that guy at the backfield. Right.
Yeah, you let him. How many broken tackles Algier had? Algier changed the tempo of the game.
Yeah,
he changed the tempo of the game, and then Zach Robinson, it finally clicked for him. Like, hold on, all right, shit's working with him. Let's see how far we can go with it. And you saw the offense start coming to life.
Zach don't
let's be
know.
honest.
I don't think
We didn't
Zach. I
score
don't think
an
he know how to
offensive touchdown.
maneuver.
We didn't score an offensive touchdown. But the offense
No, you
looked
didn't.
better with Algier in than what it did with Bijan. Bijan's going, he's able to take off whenever. All right, so then let Algier get the first 2 carries of the game. Let them know, hey, we playing physical. We coming downhill. We coming straight downhill. Stop it if you can. And then they get adjusted today, and they sitting there, they on the heel. Then you bring in Bijan, give him 4-5 carries in a row. Let him just dice him. Why? Because he's gonna make the first man miss. But he's not able to make that first man miss if they're just used to Bijan.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
and
work.
if you notice, when he caught that 40-yard pass, Bijan Robinson caught that 40-yard pass. The 2 previous plays before that, Algier opened it up, running the football in the middle of the
Sure
field.
did.
So that is the
Come
thing.
on.
So that is the thing. When you get one thing going with Tyler Algier, you use Bijan as another facet. Hopefully, this is something that they can learn from going forward. Because if they don't, they're going to keep making mistakes, and we're going to keep kicking field goals. And as I told Uncle Steve earlier while the game was going on, I said field goals are nice, but a team like New Orleans who can put up 40 points on any given Sunday, that shit not going to fly.
It's not.
Right quick, man. Jaden, I know you've been waiting, man. What's good?
Jaden,
Thank
what
you
up,
for
man?
supporting us, man.
What's
good,
going on,
What do
man?
you think about the game?
First of all, I appreciate you sending me prayers, man. You know I lost my granddad and everything.
Yeah,
I
man.
know,
Just
man.
about,
Prayers,
just
man.
about to say, still praying for
Sorry
you.
for you.
Thank you, bro. I
Still
appreciate it.
praying for you.
But
All love, bro.
thank you. But I'm gonna get straight to the point. Man, we left a lot of points on the field today.
Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Way too many points.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can be way better than that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But like I don't know what it is, but with the play calling today, it just wasn't it.
Hey, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I don't think Zach know how to use his because everybody trying to compare to how he ran
Right.
Los Angeles, right?
Right.
But we got a lot of pieces over here.
Yeah.
Better weapons overall.
We got way better weapons overall on offense for sure.
Right.
And he had to run plays for specifically 3 guys, maybe
Thank
4.
you, Jamil. I appreciate
Compared to being, you got to deal with knowing how to get Bijan the ball, Algier, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Mooney, who's a known, like he is showing out, man.
Yeah.
Mooney, I had to go watch some highlights after the game was over with. Mooney just when he played, I forgot how elusive he is, and he got good eye to ball coordination. I don't think in awareness. I don't think Zach know how to call plays for the weapons we have, man. I think I really think he needs some help for real. If he's calling all these plays, there's no way Raheem is saying, okay, yeah, we going with that. Because if we see it and we're not even reading their play, we don't even know what the hell their playbook is. But if we seeing it, I know you being the coach is seeing it like, Zach, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you like in this screen? This damn screen of Mooney. Please throw that shit out the window, man.
Please.
Bruh.
I'm telling you.
It was almost like, oh, here comes another screen.
Exactly.
I said it's on me and John's show Wednesday. I said that this team, this offense does not have an identity. We have a team with talent, but we don't know how to use talent.
Yeah.
We got a bag full of money and don't know how to spend it. That's what's going on right now.
Nah,
so now we're just randomly going to buy a Bugatti, going by another house that you're not going to be in. That's what's going on with the play call. You got a bag full of money, but don't know how to spend it. You don't know how to invest it.
But let me tell you this right quick.
Sometimes less is better.
Yeah.
And
but let me tell you,
there's too much
solution to their problem.
Right.
Yeah, we're too top heavy. This team that's trying to fit everybody in to what we're trying to do and keep them engaged in the game.
Well, let me tell you the easy solution to this problem, though.
Mm-hmm.
Use what you have been doing the last 3 years to your strength, and that's running the damn football.
Well,
I know
Algier,
Arthur Smith is gone, but at the same time, we still had that same run grade and offensive line. We still had the same personnel from those last 3 years. So why not run the ball down the team throat, and then you use Kirk Cousins to his advantage with that play action? Until they learn how to consistently do that, it's going to keep being problems. One thing about an old saying is, why break something? Why fix something that ain't broken?
Right.
Keep running the damn football. Use that quarterback to your advantage, because Kirk Cousins can do what Ritter, Mariota, and Heineke couldn't do. He can throw the ball down the field. You see what he's been doing with Mooney.
Well, you seen that? Yeah, you seen that dart he gave to Mooney?
Yep. That was a hell of a throw, though. I gotta give him props for
I
that.
ain't gonna lie. I ain't seen passes like that since Matty Ice, and when he was upright and the arm was healthy.
Hey, did y'all see that false start on that? Was it false start on Jake Matthews? I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah, that hurt.
Jake had one and Bergeron. Bergeron had
that this Francis Washington one. That one was a good one, because that's a tough. That's tough. Now, can you bring that one back up? I'm gonna try to look for it myself.
Which one?
Right here.
Which one?
The solution with the long ball, their wide receiver too much. We can't have this in every game. So those are being referred to. Those are the over routes. Those are the routes behind the linebacker. So what needs to happen is better communication within the linebackers. Right now, each one of those linebackers are kind of a liability in open space and in coverage. So not until we find a better groove with how to fix those, or better defensive alignments, not until we get DeMarco Hellams back, maybe. I
spoke on that the other day, and I hate to say it, but you got to use Richard Grant in a situation like that. You let Richard Grant play on the back end, and you put Bates or Simmons in the box to let them cover those guys in space. And I think that could solve that problem. But again, communication, like you said, if they're not communicating like they're supposed to, you're going to keep seeing these receivers sit down in these spots in the zone and just keep attacking. And that's exactly what they were doing. Because think about it. Before the fourth quarter, I think Derek Carr had about 130 yards passing, something like that. Yeah. So, and then they switched to that type of offense, and then they just started finding holes in the zone. So if you have to, put 3 safeties in the game.
Man, what a game by Mike Hughes, though.
Yeah, that was a real
game. Mike Hughes, our best corner, man.
He been balling.
Mike Hughes is our best corner, ladies and gentlemen.
AJ Terrell.
Man, y'all seen that hit? Y'all seen that hit though? With the shoulder and all that? Y'all seen
that? Man. He's got to stop doing stupid shit like that. You can't tackle in this league like that. You gotta wrap up and go right through the man, not make them top. Those
we need to wrap up. We need to wrap up anyway, man, because we missed a few tackles for real. We need to wrap up.
But joining us is bad. What's going on, fam? How you been?
What's good, man? What's good, fellas? I agree with everything y'all saying, man. We didn't play the best game. We had a bad game, but at the same time, it's a good game because we got the victory, man. But I do want to touch on this real quick. Our defense is bend but don't break, but I think the only reason that is because Jimmy Lake is not switching it up. I'm tired of seeing us in a cover 3, just sitting in the zones, bro. We don't have the linebackers for that, and also we don't communicate well enough. And what I want to see is the man we just paid on the defensive side of the ball start to follow the team's number 1 receiver, because I'm tired of seeing us just give up easy little small things to the other team's playmakers and all, but AJ Terrell could have definitely took away Chris Olave today. He was already gimpy for 1, and for 2,
but I
like the offer, but he's not a slot man.
Hey, but he was playing off, giving this man like 5.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the scheme.
We're not switching it up. We don't play no press man, no cover 2.
Hey, wait a minute now. I can't just do that, because it was a couple times to where Clark Phillips was pressed up on the man and AJ was back in zone.
True that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it's AJ, if it's the scheme or whatnot, because Clark Phillips walked up to the receiver a few times not a few times and played press man.
Yeah,
Right.
but we also got to
That's
take
still
into account too
that's still a game.
the assignments, the matchups that we're going on.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Another
last
thing.
3 weeks, the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been a more speedier receiving core. That's why we saw so much respect from these DBs and their wide receivers today. Who knows? After this hump of this schedule or this tough stretch, maybe we'll go back to playing or start playing more man to man where our corners are at a physical advantage to the wide receivers that we're playing against. But I think, this off man or this cover 3 has been because of the matchups that we're drawing now. So, I mean, I'm just saying, hopefully it'll change. But to Bag's point, man, Jimmy Lake has been very vanilla on defense, so to say, man. Hasn't really been doing anything creative. And it sucks that you can't get pressure without sending an extra guy. So really, the guys up front, have to do better at winning their matchups because week in and week out, we can't trot out of five man and leave somebody on an island or leave a zone exposed because you don't know how to get these guys creatively going. So yeah.
And honestly, we don't have the corners to leave anybody on the island. We don't have the corner to do that. Now we had a reason that have been different.
I also want to throw this in there. I do also think that Brady is still bouncing back, but now that we are a quarter of the season done, I think it's time to throw Rook and Brandon Durlis in there.
Yeah.
Put some youth in there. Because Eddie Goldman, Kentavious Street, them type of guys, even Graham, they're not technically pass rushers. So when they're in, it's like the pass rush on the inside is very vanilla. So you really only have to worry about a Judon or an Arnold Ebiketie whenever they're in.
Yeah, to TQ Taquan Graham's defense today, he put a hell of a swim move on the offensive guard, man. He was doing his thing today. He played pretty good today. But to your point, yes, we need to start elevating the Rook and Dorless to see what we have in these two young men. Both of those guys very disruptive in college, and that's exactly what this line needs is constant and consistent disruption. Now, can we get that from Brandon Dorless, one of the more disruptive defensive tackles coming out of college and from Oregon? Maybe so. And Rook's no pushover too, even though he just started playing football at the age of 17. He's still learning the position, but this is a kid that has some just as some people call it, some country strength, and this kid's a strong motherfucker, man. So we need his ass on that line, pushing these offensive linemen back. But joining us right now is the man, the hype, the myth, the legend, in spirit, Twisted Torch TV. What's happening, Twisted?
I'm just starstruck,
Oh Lord!
I sat and watched these Saints fans all week. We got the offense. We're scoring 40 points. We got 400 yards.
He ain't lying.
I had the Saints fan come on the channel. He called 31-21. I said, hey, every game the Saints and Falcons play is close majority of the time. It's going to come down to a Young Hoku field goal. And what do you know?
Oh,
that's exactly what happened, bro. Bro, I called it 20-19 on Wednesday's show. I was like, yo, it's going to be a close one. 20-19 Falcons, man. And
that's definitely going to be close. And then he hit a long. 58.
58-yarder.
I said 24-20, bro.
They said that was the longest field goal in Mercedes-Benz Stadium history so far.
But he's good at 50-yard field goals anyway for game winners. Like, he's been clutch. Matt Ryan.
But see, what cool problem is? It ain't them long ones. It's them short ones.
Yeah. Give me nervous. It make me nervous every time. Make me nervous every time. Hey, I'm going to go and say this and put that out there, man. Since he won't say we have a problem with the tall wide receivers, Falcons beating Bucks Thursday. Put your bread towards the Falcons. We gonna beat the Bucks Thursday. The Bucks beat the Eagles, right? They beat up on a terrible Eagle.
The Eagles were decimated, man.
They are still
sometimes
they still got.
Eagles don't trust their coach.
They still got a pedigree team. The Falcons are gonna win against the Bucks Thursday.
And truthfully,
Eagles 2-0 in division. I'm telling y'all right now, man. I'm telling y'all right now. I'm saying it first.
If you look at it, that game against Philly actually may be the decider because truthfully, we was 1-0 divisional.
Let's go.
So
folks don't know how to use no four-way stop to save their life. My bad. I'm sorry, no.
And then when I look at it, I'm gonna be honest. I hate the cover 3. I didn't like it when Dan Quinn was here. I never liked it because it leaves too many gaps. The zone just does, especially when you don't have a pass rush.
Don't pay too much to that though, bro.
No,
it's about that red zone defense, bro.
No, I'm gonna tell you what let me know the difference. Because when Nielsen was running multiple, all he did was he ran his scheme toward what the offense presented. So we gotta be in 3-4 cool. If we gotta be in 4-3 cool. If we gotta be in 4-2 cool. Right now, you're just running a cover 3. Cover 3 is cool when you got a pass rush.
But if
that's
they bust the middle, they'll kill you in the middle.
But they'll kill you in the middle without a pass
like they switched it up in the second half? They made a lot more adjustments, a lot more man coverage, especially when they got in the red zone.
Yeah, you had to, because that was just like my fault, my thing with when we had True Fun. All them coaches kept trying to play him in coverage, and he was a man corner. You get certain positions, and y'all want to throw them into a position they don't play, then complain when they don't perform. Like, I mean, it's almost ridiculous and ludicrous to me, because you're trying to play a man in a scheme that he doesn't play, which I understand you try to get him to fit your scheme, but that is prime example, Kirk Cousins. We all know Kirk Cousins is run, play action, whole career. And he's been almost a master at that play action his whole career. He get here and we want to put him in shotgun like he Matthew Stafford. That's the point I'm making. We're trying to cater the team to a scheme when there was the same problem with Arthur Smith. You got these weapons, and the reason why you can't use them efficiently is because you worried about who pounding. If y'all didn't even notice, because I went to the game, the camera faded to Bijan. He was on the sideline pounding.
Man is a boy pounding,
and
like
that told me a lot during the game in the stadium today. I was like, I see what's going on now. We know Algier the better back, but just because we made him a first-round pick, we trying to fit him into a 4-down back, which he is not. That's what I mean.
What did I say earlier?
With Zach Robinson.
That's based on Zach. Zach got to put both of them in the game.
See, that's where I was finna. But see,
that's where I'm finna use both of them at the same time.
See, that's where I'm finna get to. I hate to keep making this reference, but I always got to go back to my favorite Falcon coach, regardless of wins or losses. But you give Kyle Shanahan or a Bijan Robinson and a Tyler Algier, it's like these coaches really don't know what they're doing. I'd really rather you go get the Shanahan playbook from 5 years ago and figure out how to use them if you ain't going to do it correctly, because you give Kyle Shanahan this team, bro. And I'm going to continue to say this. You give Kyle Shanahan this team right here, this offense, you couldn't stop him. You could not stop him, because he don't care about your attitude. All he care about is if you open, you get the ball. Period. That's it. And every offensive coordinator making the same mistake.
You can't give Kyle Shanahan offensive playbook to another coordinator and expect it to work. We tried that before. We tried that with Steve Sarkisian. We seen how that worked out. Yeah, like you can't do that. Like when something is somebody's brainchild, you can't sit there and expect that somebody else is gonna pick it up, because they're not gonna feel the vibe of it the way the originator did. You can't expect that.
Good point. And he's still he's a new offensive coordinator, but it's game 4.
He definitely is.
But see, the problem
he's still coming into his own.
But
no, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like everybody else on
wrong coming into your own, but quit trying to use.
I would like a bigger offensive performance, but we're not at that point yet. But as long as the defense get into a groove, then I'm not too worried about it. It's more that I'm more skeptical about it, because as of lately, it's been like every week it's been a downtick. Week 1 was bad. Week 2 was good. Week 3 was good, but it was slightly less than week 2, and now week 4 hit, and we don't have an offensive touchdown.
Because you won't
That's
play
something
to
to be
your
concerned.
offense. That's my whole point. You won't play to your offensive strength. You keep trying to make Kirk Cousins be Matthew Stafford.
It's not that though.
Yes, it
Nah,
is.
it ain't
What's
not
going
nothing on
on?
Cousins. I don't think
We're
they got
trying
nothing
to
to do
make
with
our
Cousins
offense
though.
Bijan. We're trying to make our offense Bijan. Bijan is Michael Jackson,
Offense.
and
That's what
everybody else is the Jackson.
yes.
Everybody else is Jackson 5. They fit in where they fit in. And that you cannot do it because there's too much
Oh,
talent
I've
on the
been tired
offense.
of the Bijan show. I'm a Kyle Pitts fan, honestly.
Me too. Me personally, I would have never drafted Bijan. I just knew that we were going to draft Bijan with what we did in the offseason. I could see that. I saw that. But I would have never drafted Bijan. I would prefer to have Ajit let him run his course for 4 years to see how they shake out. I prefer a bruising.
We drafted Bijan, guys.
Nah, that wouldn't. I like to think they draft Bijan.
Jalen Carter should have been there.
But I'm saying that's why they drafted Bijan.
All right, hold on. Think about it. Even if Raheem Morris came in and we went 3, think about how much better our 3-4 defensive line would have been with Grady on one and Anyamata on another and Jalen Carter in the middle. Therefore, Troy Anderson inability to get off on block that would have been covered up. We would have been able to get pressure with our front 3 or 4. Our down linemen. That opens up so much more for your defense.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. And even beyond it, Troy Anderson wouldn't be targeted the way he is targeted. He's a target. If you want to run the ball, you pick him out, you switch the play, and you go straight at him.
And I think he realized that today. I think it may have been a confidence thing because after he got that touchdown, he had a whole different type of confidence on
that
that
boy was
field.
over the field. After that touchdown, he was all over the field. I ain't gonna lie.
It may have been confidence.
One tackle for loss. Don't let the numbers skew you. Actually watch the plays. He still played bad.
He still played
bad. He was getting blown off the ball.
He had 17 tackles.
Go ahead, Smith.
Hey, I'm gonna cut in right here, right quick, and say, man, listen, we got the dub. We gotta end the show, man. But we definitely got to thank everybody for coming in, tuning in, rocking out with us, man. We definitely appreciate everybody's time, man. We don't want to hold you guys up any longer, but we definitely gotta end the show, man. So, Chef, King Richie, Twisted, man. If you guys got socials where we can find you guys, let us know. Throw them out there. Winston, you as well, please. So I'll go in line. King Richie, where can we find you, man?
King Richie there.
Oh yeah, I thought you said Winston first.
No. You good.
Yeah, so I'm King Richie. I'm actually working on starting a Dirty Falcon podcast, but I don't really know how to work YouTube, so I'm sort of struggling right now. But other than that, you can catch me at the Dirty Falcon podcast.
Got you, man. Well, you already know, man. You can hit me up on IG, man. We'll get it cracking, bro.
Yeah, just reach out.
That's all you got to do, man. Chef, where we can find you, Chef?
Man, hey, Chef AD, Mr. Wings on me, man. You can just find me on Instagram or just find me in your comments on the goddamn Smitty page all the time, baby. You feel?
Got it, man. We definitely appreciate, man, your loyalty, and we appreciate you always tuning in. Twisted, tell the folks where they can find you, fam.
Twisted Torch PV, man. Appreciate all the support, guys. Hey, appreciate all y'all, man. Make sure y'all keep doing what y'all doing. We got the win at the end of the day, guys. I want y'all to understand that. We got a game in 4 days versus the Bucks where we can make better. We saw defense make stops. That's all we can worry. I just did a quick recap. Check that out on my page. Appreciate that.
Gotcha. Chris.
Yo, man, you already know A1 Family Sports on YouTube, man. I am proud to say that I got over, with the channel has over 1,500 subs or supporters now. Just working and grinding. Salute to everybody and salute to everybody who's been supporting my channel. Definitely on Twitter and Instagram, A1 Forever, and on TikTok, the real A1 Forever, man. Come by, have a conversation. We can talk about Falcons, Braves, Hawks, dogs, whatever, because I'm gonna land everything.
Right.
George, everything.
Nice. Winston, what you got?
Yo. Hey, Winston. Y'all can catch it. Me and my compadre, Mr. Georgia legend, John Harris, Wednesday night on the eye test on YouTube. Catch us at 10 o'clock p.m. and catch us on Facebook, the eye test Facebook group and page. Appreciate y'all fellas for having us, man.
For sure.
Hey Winston, tell John they got a strip club right on Wings.
Heads up your ass, man. Heads up your ass, man.
Y'all know what it is.
I had to go on
Y'all know what it catch me,
man.
Y'all know what it catch me, man. Submitted Sports Machine on YouTube and at Fatboy_21 on Twitter. We will have a preview show Wednesday for the Bucks game on Thursday. And Tuesday, y'all can catch me on NFC South Roundtable because I'm going to let TJ have it this week because he make my ass itch.
Boy, it's going to be spicy that day. It's going to be spicy.
One more thing, the door open to everybody.
What'd you say?
No, I was saying the door open to any and everybody on the eye test on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Door open to any and everybody. Pull up. Come through, we shoot the link. Everybody, welcome.
Shoot, all right.
Sound about right, man. Appreciate that invite, man. And again, man, it's your boy Berto, host of the 94 Falcons Talk Show on YouTube and your exclusive at Bleacher Report content created for these athletes. That thread is up, man. If you want to go visit Bleacher Report and hear what I had to say, I greatly appreciate it. Run up the fires, run up the like, run up the follows, man. And then like said, man, we'll be back Wednesday night to preview the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll have a special guest on for that Thursday night game. But until then, we'll give you your Sunday afternoon back. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for supporting Terramina on Chef AD, as you can see. But hey, listen, man, Falcons got the dub.
Got that dub, baby.
So we got that dub, an all-important dub in this NFC South competitive or competition in the division. Until then, we'll see y'all Wednesday night. Peace.